All right, so you might remember when we were talking about biomes, we had said here in the east, we're in the deciduous forest biome. But we had said that in the center of the USA, in places like Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Illinois, it's a grassland. Trees don't grow there, or you don't have forests there because there isn't enough rainfall, and so grasses can outcompete the trees, and so we have the temperate grassland biome. And so when we talk about preserves and preserving our ecosystems, we have to consider grasslands as well. And so here in the US, in addition to having sustainable forestry, we have sustainable pastoralism, pastures, grasslands. And the goal of sustainable pastoralism is to increase productivity while maintaining biodiversity. Very similar to what we talked about with the forest. Now, what is the problem that you can run into with the grassland? Well, it's this biome, by the way, is one of the most highly endangered. Why? Because it's fantastic for farmland, and so there's a lot of it's the breadbasket of the world, actually, that part of the U.S., because we produce so much grain there. But in addition, it's really good for grazing animals. And so what happens in these areas, they can be overgrazed. So if we talk about sustainable pastoralism, that means you don't destroy the native grasses, right? So you're going to maintain biodiversity by not overgrazing. And so that means you have to adjust how you run your animals on the land. If any of you have ever have a farm or have ever spent time around a farm, around the barn, there's really no grass. I mean, in some cases around here, because of all the rainfall, it's just a muddy mess, right? Well, if you're out there, we had said they don't have a whole lot of rainfall. So what you have is the process of overgrazing, where it's kind of like around the barn, but that here we're talking about having too many animals per acre of land. So the problem you have there, it's not wet, so you don't get mud, but you get a process that's called desertification. And this results from extreme overgrazing. What happens is the soil becomes extremely compacted. So compacted that when it rains, the water can't percolate down into the soil. It runs off. And that, of course, leads to erosion. If you don't have moisture in the soil, guess what? Seeds won't germinate, and wells start to go dry because there is no water going down and replenishing the groundwater. So a real threat to the grasslands is overgrazing.